Her career, her friendships, and oh my god. Issa, along with her team of writers, created a world where we follow the journey of Issa Dee, a woman who is figuring out her career, her friendships, and her romantic life. We intensely follow the lives of Issa's self-named character and her best friend Molly as they navigate their professional and love lives as Black women in Los Angeles. The show is notable for its portrayal of the complexities of friendship, particularly the bond between Issa and Molly, showing how love, jealousy, ambition, and personal growth can affect even the closest relationships. This relationship is the true heart of the show, and we'll talk more about it in a bit. Molly's journey was equally compelling. Initially, Molly seemed to have it all together, but as the show progressed, we started to see her struggles with vulnerability, ups and downs of her relationships, and her evolving sense of self-worth. If you can't tell by now by my praises, I love this show. I was way too young to be watching it. I remember going on sites like HBO to watch it and see what it was for myself. How old was I? Like 15. No business. But I really am glad I was able to experience the show as it was airing, because it was truly a time. The Lawrence Hive is gonna hate me. I never really cared for Lawrence at the beginning, and by the time Chamomile got pregnant with his child, yeah, I was checked out from him. The Lawrence train left the station and I just stayed there looking at it go because I was done. No more. But let me not say too much, because I know the Lawrence Hive out there is very strong, full of a lot of heterosexual Black men, and I don't want any problems. Molly reminded me a lot of my own sister, so to see her walls come down, really satisfying to watch. Kelly had no business being as funny as she was. I still need to check out Natasha Rothwell's show on Hulu. I will do it before the end of the year. You know, she's dicey. People love her, people hate her, but I think Amanda Seales did a really great job at portraying that like specific, uptight, elitist-ish Black character like Tiffany. I did not like Nathan or his light eyes, but I do appreciate the show making him bipolar and depicting a Black man living with, you know, mental health struggles. And maybe because I watched it as a teen, never cared for Daniel because of that one scene where it's like, yeah, no, nah. Who else was on the show? Dro. I was not surprised to find out the guy that plays Dro, he had like some drama like in real life as the show was airing. I think it was somebody he was on the show. Girl, it was messy. Then come to find out he's related to the alleged certified lunatic, I don't even know his name, Keke Palmer's child's father. They're like cousins or brothers or something. Not surprised at all. But yeah, during the rollout of season 1, I remember everybody wanting to recreate Issa's mirror raps. Definitely a comedic highlight of the show. Oh my gosh. Ugh, her impact. I didn't like how they just handled Dro's disappearance. I don't know if it had something to do with the actor and everything I said he had going on during the time. I feel like that could have been explained better. And also did not love the lack of follow-up for Tiffany postpartum depression. Never heard anything back from that. Very odd. Although people love to debate, you know, whether they're Team Lawrence, Team Daniel, Team Nathan. Don't know why he would be Team Nathan. The true love story of the show is between Molly and Issa. Their relationship, their friendship, their tumultuous friendship serves as like the heartbeat of the show. People love to say that Molly was the bad friend, and I'm not saying she wasn't, but I honestly think they were bad friends to one another. Again, not excusing Molly's behavior, but then why are we like pacifying Issa's as what? Anyway, their friendship, born in college and solidified as adults in Los Angeles, thrives on fun, loyalty, and champagne toast. Their love isn't especially patient, but is still overwhelmingly kind. Issa and Molly found that their friendship had come off its tracks, not enough to completely derail it, but enough to feel. What once seemed effortless, they complained to everyone except each other until it was almost too late, now felt like a chore. They're each other's closest confidants, but disagree on enough fundamentals that they ended up having the pilot's most explosive and personal fight. Molly can't stop unloading all her feelings even when it's supposed to be Issa's time. Issa drags Molly into a messy night and ignores her advice, and so it goes from this first episode through most of the series to come. It establishes each of their gripes with the other, the specific kind of miscommunication that kept them mad, and the eventual peace offering that usually brings them back together. The people they had become didn't make sense as a pair anymore. After everything they've been through, this moment made for the show's most devastating breakup scene. Period. It's Issa and Molly who get the episode's climactic, tearful I love you exchange and the final scene of the entire series. Casual phone call that conveys the kind of intimacy only people who know each other inside and out can share. No matter which man Issa ended up with, Insecure always understood who the true love of her life is and will be through it all. Honestly, that scene in the bathroom where like she's helping her get her dress on, this was my favorite part of the entire finale. I was in genuine tears. And I am not one to cry at fictitious media, and I, you know, had a couple of tears coming down because it was just so beautiful and evoking. Like, oh my gosh, I could feel like the heaviness and everything just kind of being released in that. Ooh, let me stop. The rest of the finale was divisive for some fans, as Issa's choice to end up with Lawrence surprised many, while some people felt like, you know, it was a natural conclusion to her journey. I am not one of those people. I do not agree. I am a certified I hate how Insecure ended hater, just based off of everything we saw the entire 5 seasons, the conversations that were had between Lawrence and Issa, the behaviors and actions between both of them. Nothing gave they should have ended up together. It actually doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. Oh, let's just put them together. They started together, let's end them together. That's what it gave to me. I would have much preferred that Issa end up single or with another guy, or preferably just single and successful and reflective. Look at me, I'm Issa Dee, I can be me. You know what I mean? I honestly feel like maybe they ended it like that too, just to create conversation. They knew it would piss off a lot of people. From a storytelling perspective, the development that Issa had, it doesn't make sense. Argue with your mom. They can have it though. They got me. Like, it's their show. They can do whatever they want. I just don't agree with the ending at all. I'm still kind of, I'm not mad about it anymore, but it just doesn't make any sense. This doesn't make no sense.
That doesn't make no sense.
For her to be playing stepmom, like, ugh! Okay, now let's shift to the criticisms. A large critique I saw when reading articles was that the show focused too much on the experiences on a specific demographic of Black women, those who are educated, urban, middle class, and some viewers felt the show did not fully capture the diversity of Black experiences and didn't address issues like poverty, class struggles, or the complexities of being a Black woman in different geographical and socioeconomic settings. Second criticism that I saw was that in later seasons, the show spent too much time focusing on Molly's flaws without offering the character much redemption or growth. Like, not giving her an opportunity to change for the better against these flaws. Another comment I kept saying a lot was the tone of the show. Having to balance humor and drama is difficult. So I saw people saying the show sometimes felt inconsistent. This article in particular saying with viewers feeling that the show could be jarring in its transitions from lighthearted mirror rap moments to like serious introspective moments. And then people complained about like the pacing of the show, with the show starting off strong, but then in the later seasons the pacing was uneven. And like I mentioned before, it felt like some of the storylines, especially in regards to the secondary characters, didn't reach satisfying conclusions, let alone a conclusion at all, really. I cannot put on the screen or show you guys direct quotes and articles from these criticisms because they were forcing me to sign up for a subscription to keep reading, and I'm not doing that. That doesn't make no sense. The proof is out there if you want to do your own research. I also want to say here that in research for this video, I did watch FD Signifier's video he did about how Issa Rae writes Black men on Insecure. He did about 4 years ago. It's a really, really, really good video. So yeah, he goes into detail how intricately the Black men on Insecure are written to depict the various layers of Black men not typically seen on TV. So please go check out that video to hear more about the reception of how Insecure depicted Black men. As season 2 of Insecure was airing, there was some criticism brought up because of the lack of condom usage during some of the depictions of sex on the show. Between Issa and Lawrence, Lawrence and Tasha, Issa and Daniel, and Molly and her past flings, we have yet to see a rubber, a rapper, or even a conversation about using protection. And for a show that spends a great deal of time focusing on the sex lives of Black millennials, this type of omission is jarring. While African Americans make up mere 12% of the US population, we we account for almost half of all new HIV infections each year. Not to mention, we have disproportionately higher rates of genital herpes, chlamydia, and gonorrhea. Yes, there are plenty of reasons why we bear the brunt of these epidemics, but the lack of condom use is definitely a factor. It seemed insane to go through the painstaking task to emphasize the awkwardness and realness of sex between strangers and actually just omit the protection discussion entirely. Does this play into the character's imperfections? Will there be any consequences to it? Or should we just assume that everyone is using condoms even if we don't see it? And I get it. Having Lauren stop to grab a condom can break up the flow and allure of a scene. Plus, plenty of people still believe that condoms on screen and in real life aren't all that sexy or pleasurable. But there are still tiny ways to throw one in there without it seeming like an after-school special. But this lack of safer sex isn't just about our collective public health. It also serves as a missed opportunity to realistically tackle a topic that we rarely see in pop culture: how single black women and men negotiate condom use as they flow in and out of new and old relationships. Woo! It's getting hot in here. Literally, I'm getting hot, and this was a good point to be made. So I just wanted to show you guys my setup. So here's the script, here's the camera, and since my camera doesn't have a swivel viewfinder, I have to put a mirror all the way up there near my TV just to make sure that I can see that it's still recording. You can't see it in here, but there's a tiny red dot beeping or bleeping. Or yeah, you can't see it right there. That means it's still recording. Because my camera is so old, it will just shut off sometimes. This is how I film these deep dives. Behind the scenes.